Welcome back to the studio. Today, we're going to talk about leather production stats and the most popular leather around the world. We're going to look at the different sources and understand by animal. We're going to look at the number of hides by animal type. And we're going to look at the largest importers and exporters of bovine leather. The leather production industry is truly global. We'll see as we look through that the creators, those who make products, and those who buy them are all around the world. And where that leather is sourced from and the animals that it comes from can vary greatly by region and by the demand for imports and demand for exports. When we look at tonnage of hides by animal type, we see some pretty big differences. First off, cattle and buffalo make up 67%. And in a way that makes sense, since they're some of the largest animals, they would also produce some of the largest volumes, tonnage, of leather. Next, we have sheep and lamb at 12%. Smaller animals, that would make sense. Pig, 11%. Goat and kid leather at 10%. And all the other leathers at around 0.5%. And these could include exotics and rare leathers, and pretty much any other type that's out there. Now, size of animal alone won't dictate the amount of leather that's produced, but we do see some correlation. Now let's look at the number of hides produced each year. And this is going to be the actual number, not necessarily the tonnage. So first, we have 550 million of sheep and lamb hides. So that is a lot of hides. Smaller animals, but certainly a lot of hides. Second after that, we have 486 million of goat and kid leather. And then below that, we have 364 million of bovine and buffalo leather. So each year, that's a total of around 1.4 billion hides that have been tanned and processed for use. Now let's look at the importing countries. So these are the countries that are typically seeking to import bovine leather for use in manufacturing and production and whatever commercial enterprises they're engaged in. So the top importer at around 39% of the global supply of bovine leather is going to China. Next, we have about 15% that is imported by Italy. South Korea imports about 5%. Germany, about 4%, and Mexico imports around 3% of the global supply of bovine leather. All right, let's take a look at exporting countries. So these are the countries that are producing a large volume of bovine leather and are then selling it to other markets around the world. So starting at the top, we have the United States with 26%. Next, we have France, that exports around 9% of the global bovine leather. Germany coming in at 8%. Australia with 7%. And Canada exporting around 5% of the global bovine leather supply. So when we look at the kind of global infrastructure of leather production, we see it truly is a global community. For example, the location of where some leather comes from and how it's raised and then used may be very different than where it's shipped to create products. And different countries may have different specialties in the products that they create. And then third, those products themselves may be shipped to yet more countries where the customers are. And customers in different regions may have different preferences, and it can really show the variation between where the leather originates, where it's used to produce products, and then where those customers are that buy those products. And it's truly, truly a global community and how it all travels. So, if you were curious about some of the most popular leathers around the world, if you don't know, now you know. Until next time,